Okay, welcome back to the channel, folks. We're going to title this one today, They Don't Go to the Auction Because They Went Out of Style. There's always a reason that they were at the auction. This is an old 430 John Deere baler, made probably back in the 70s, 80s. I don't know what this, I looked the serial number on this, but I don't know. I've never found a source to look up baler. Years of balers other than to call the dealer, and I ain't worried about it. What's a big deal anyway? But there was a reason, at least one reason I know of, other than this baler being old, that it was at the auction. Somebody probably updated to a newer baler. But if you look down in here, see this rod right here that goes up to, this is what creates your belt tension, is this arm right here and this cylinder. And this rod is connected to that, works a mechanism down in here for your automatic tie. Well, whenever this gets to a point that you have this right here set at to start to tie the bell, that rod indicates that it's in the right position. Well, that rod in this bell crank right here, that bell crank right there, works on this shaft where you can see the new grease fitting and the grease in there. Well, that thing was seized. And when I went to open up the back of the end gate of the baler the first time, this rod just bent in a U-shaped semicircle because everything was bent or was seized up. It wouldn't move. So I've got that all freed up and working just like it's supposed to. You can see the number up there is at 6, which if you're baling a 6-foot bale, you make them 4 feet wide by 6 feet tall. That number would show in the window, and that would tell you got a 6-foot bale in there. It's time to tie and dump your bale. But it goes from that number chart right there goes 3, 4, 5, and 6. So there's 4 different size bells that you can set it to automatic tie. Everything else about this baler is not in bad shape. It needs a new belt down here on the pickup drive, and I'd put a new belt. Well, it needs a new belt back there in on the tie mechanism. Needs one back in there. This is your hydraulic tie right here. That's the reservoir for it. It's just a power steering pump is all it is. I've had other balers of these, and a 93 Dodge Dakota power steering pump works on them just fine. Everybody says you can put Chevy on and stuff, and you probably can. They work, but I found that the one that was on one of these, I crossed the number, and it come up to a Dodge Dakota power steering pump. And that's what I've been using, and they work. Not a problem. So anyway, but I'm offering this baler cheap enough that it's worth rebuilding. It really is. This baler has what you would call good bones to it. It's not all busted up. It's not all tore up. You can see over here, usually down in there, that is tore up from the chain and the drive chains inside breaking, and then the drive shaft in there pulling the chains around. Usually that's all scarred up. You can see that isn't that way on this one. It's in nice shape. It does need the front end of a power takeoff shaft, but I've been looking on Marketplace, and there's some on there that would work for this. It needs a jack put on it, but Harbor Freight has a jack that would fit on there for $36. I mean, holy cow, how much cheaper can you get? It does need new hydraulic lines, but the last couple that I had of these balers, I just went to Rural King and bought half-inch line. 36 or 48, I think that's 48-inch hydraulic line, and that's all that takes, and they're cheap. You can see here I put some Ad Coat rust preventative in there, rust coating, a rust converter, that's what it is. It's supposed to convert the rust to a primer, and then you can paint over it. I'm not going to paint. If I was to keep this baler, I would paint it and clean it up in there. But again, this is for sale. But I took this ball where you put your string balls at uh, out, so I could get in there to work it down in there to work on that piece better. Uh, but all that stuff comes out of there pretty easy. When you need to change belts and stuff, I've done it numerous times. This does have the gathering wheels on it that work. Um, you can see here, usually those hydraulic cylinders are leaking. These are not, they're good and dry. On the end gate, inside the end gate, see if I can get some light up in there. You can see it's not all worn, it's just paint worn off. I've seen on the internet, I'm on the John Deere Round Baler page on Facebook, and those guys talk about the inside skins getting worn out and having to weld new skins in there, which is not a hard thing to do, but this one isn't. This one's in nice shape. So I wouldn't say there's been a tremendous amount of bells through this baler. The belts look semi-good. I wouldn't, you just have to try them, see if they work. If they don't, put new belts on. I put new belts on the last one I had here. I paid $1,700 for all six belts. So that wasn't that bad. Needs pickup teeth. Pickup teeth are cheap though. The one thing nice about this, and the stripper bands are pretty nice shape on this one. The last one I had, they was real bad shape, and I bought fiberglass ones and put on it. Man, they were nice. They were really nice. This has got the original ones on, and they're not in bad shape. But I will tell you this, whenever you Google stripper bands on Google, this isn't the first thing that comes up. I guarantee you that. So, walk out around here. Yeah, it's not bad. It has an old monitor with it. The monitor needs rewired. You can run this without a monitor just by watching that bell size up in the front. You do have to weave back and forth whenever you're baling to try and keep your bell square, so you don't end up with a large side and a small side on your baler. So on your bell, I'm sorry, you're on your bell. So and the bell monitor does help with that. But everything else is here. There's a switch that tells you the end gate's closed when the monitor's hooked up. I've checked a lot of these switches. You can hear them clicking in there, so they still work. Get this unhooked. It does have a hydraulic cylinder to raise the pickup up and down, but it's not connected, and it's rusted anyway, so I don't think I would even bother using it. Just do it manually. All the other ones I've had have always been manual. There's a change. It's got decent sprockets on it. They're not sharp yet. They're getting towards sharp, but they're not sharp yet. You could probably get another year, maybe two, depending on how many bales you bale out of this. Yeah, they're not real bad. Chains don't look bad. They could stand to be oiled. You might take them off and soak them in diesel fuel or something first before you run it, just to get them good and lubricated. Everything else about it, it's not a bad looking baler. It's got good bones to that's why when I saw it, I thought I can rebuild that one. That is not bad. So, yeah, there it is. John Deere 430 baler. Pretty good shape. Needs some maintenance and TLC, but you could definitely make bells with this thing. No doubt about it. These are straightforward, no nonsense balers. So there you go. Anybody interested in a 430 baler, leave me a message in the comments below, and some kind of contact information. I'll get to you, and we'll fix you up with a decent 430 here. You got to put a little work into it, If you want something cheap, that's the way it works. You don't get cheap and ready to go to the field nowadays. But like I say, they don't go to the auction because he went out of style. I say that to everybody, because you'll be standing in an auction with someone and they'll say, wonder what's wrong, wonder what, and I always say to them, well, it ain't here because it went out of style, trust me. So there you go, John Deere 430 baler. Anybody interested, like I say, hit me up in the comments below. Thanks for watching. God bless.